People who went out to be baptized by John were looking for a Messiah, an anointed one who would fulfill their deepest needs and hopes. What were those needs and hopes that brought them to the desert? For some, they took a political form, released from the Roman Empire's taxation and oppression. Others wanted to see the unambiguous presence of God among the chosen people. For still others, it was probably vaguer and therefore perhaps deeper. They sought some kind of inner peace. They hoped someone could give them a good reason to risk getting out of bed in the morning and take the bigger risk of closing their eyes at night. They wanted some sign that their lives were noticed by God, important to God, embraced by God, and sustained forever by God. In other words, those folks at the side of the Jordan were like us. Among those folks was Jesus. He too had come to John. He too received John's baptism. Perhaps he too was looking for something, some assurance of his relationship with God. In other words, Jesus at the side of the Jordan was like us. When all the people were baptized and Jesus was at prayer after likewise being baptized, the skies opened and the Holy Spirit descended on him in visible form like a dove. A voice from heaven was heard to say, "You are my beloved Son, on you my favor rests." In that moment, Jesus received the assurance he was waiting for, the answer to his heart's desire. So too did everyone else. That is the reason for the Spirit's appearance in visible form. The assurance to Jesus that he had God's favor was also an assurance to the rest of the crowd that in Jesus, God's favor was on them too. It's our assurance as well. The difference between us Christians and the rest of the world is the knowledge that there is an answer for our anticipating hearts, and the answer is the Son of God present among us. That was good news to the people on the banks of the Jordan River. It is good news for the whole world. The celebration of the baptism of Jesus is a proclamation of who he is, the first public proclamation of the identity of Jesus, the Son of God. The Holy Spirit tells those who have been full of anticipation that their hopes are realized. In fact, their hopes have been exceeded. They were willing to settle for John as their Messiah. John, however, told them that the real Messiah would be vastly more powerful than himself. What they and we were given is the Son of God. Sometimes we take that for granted. We treat the title as if it were an interesting batch of words. Perhaps the marvel of what the words mean is too great for us to grasp them even slightly, so we shrug them off. However, the voice at the baptism of Jesus was telling the truth. God has given us not only the answer to our heart's anticipation, God has given us the fullness of godness to be with us, to stay with us. So what are we to do? Should we sit back and luxuriate? The answer to our heart's desires does not entail resting or relaxing. It doesn't even bring much comfort. It brings something else, something that is a theme of the Gospel of Luke that we reflect upon this year. It brings a call to spread the good news, to share it with the whole world. The same thing happened with Jesus. After receiving the baptism of John and the declaration of his identity, he headed off deeper into the wilderness to be tempted and then began his mission. We too have been baptized, in our case with the baptism of Jesus. We too face temptations. We too are given a mission as a result of our baptism and the declaration that Jesus is the Son of God. We are sent into the world to be advertisements in our words and deeds for the answer to the heart's anticipation of the world, the Son of God, Jesus Christ.